Mamelodi Sundowns 2, Al-Hilal 2. I think when you heard the two coaches speaking, you could tell Laurent Aurelia says these are the two tough teams in Group C. He mentions an honorable mention of Hlompho Kekana's FC Alger, but says these are the two top teams. It's a group of death, he calls it. And when you look at the demeanor of Mamelodi Sundowns' coach, Coach Cardoso says, we're at the better game. Look at the stats. We're at the position. He's right. Here they are in front of us. But not impressed with his team, particularly, he says, up front. Made a lot of wrong decisions and choices in the attack.
Yeah, there's been a little bit difficult. I mean, you can even see, even with the selection of the players, you know, as much as there are 10 shots on goal, you know, I mean, only 5 on target. But you have to take those, especially when you are playing home. And also, 67% possession has to be translated, you know, into efficiency in the attacking third. And that's what has been lacking today. You know, a lot of wrong decisions, a lot of sloppiness. That is uncharacteristic of a Sundowns team that is playing home. So maybe the team has been affected by the AFCON, you know, but this is going to affect everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, you're playing a team that had 10 players at AFCON.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not sure how much of an excuse that is. But let's go to the first goal, Hlompho, in the first half. Very early onwards, this one, 15th minutes. Yeah. Omar Yagoub would go on to score a brace. The 32-year-old scores his third of AFCON, of Champions League?
Of course, I did mention during the build-up in the beginning of this match that in the Champions League, they don't miss a lot. And this is the match where I thought, here, you have to take it. Take a foul, take one for the team. And you don't have to even get a yellow card. Just bump the guy. Make sure that you force him to where he doesn't want to go, which is goal side. So for me, I think here it was a big mistake caused by Nuno Santos and Hlompho Kekana. They should know better, especially when you're playing against these teams. You know your opponents. There's analysts that give you this video footages for this keeper. Giramusha, for me, he's a tricky player. He knows he can go right, left. But the only way to deal with somebody like that, force him where the crowd is, force him where there's so many bodies. And I thought they didn't do much of defending that moment.
Yeah, we spoke about it, the transition from defense to attack. I mean, just to echo what Hlompho was saying, here, Santos has to take a foul here.
Yeah.
And then the problem again, what happens is that the defense now is really unbalanced.
Sure.
And if you check, the defenders are now facing their own goals. They're facing Ronwen there. But still, it's important that the nearest player there, who's Allende, who's closer to Omar, have to pick up the player.
He tried to take the foul there.
Have to pick him up. So he moves past Cupido, then Cupido doesn't pick up that player. So when the team is not balanced, it's important that you stay with your man in defense. But like what Hlompho said, take your foul. This is a Champions League match. You take your foul, you make sure that there's a restart, and then the team reorganizes. That did not happen there. And it was a crucial moment also for them to be able to score.
Well, they'd have to wait 7 minutes, Mamelodi Sundowns, before they could score their goal. And it was through a move that we've seen throughout the match.
Well, I love watching these kind of goals, because I know how difficult it is to execute that kind of a pass. You need to have a right weight. You need to have a right technique. You need to have a telepathy between the receiver and the passer. And this, the right moment, good pass, good weight, good run from Sales. Of course, he still have to do the job by finishing. But everything that you can tell that is coming from a training ground, TD.
5th match of this season's Champions League, his second goal. 11 games last season, not a single goal for Sales. He scores here, the opener for Mamelodi Sundowns, draws it at half-time, 1-1. But let's take a look at it in more detail this moment.
Yeah, what is key is that Sundowns is always intentional, Always, the full-backs are always wide. That's very, very intentional. But look what we have done there in the center there, is that they're always between the lines. And that equilateral that we are putting up there in the midfield there is very, very exciting, that Santos remains available, and then you've got Tashrik on the inside. And of course, on top there, you have Sales there who maintains that position. But I also like what Hlompho said, that as much as Sales is in that position there, Mutiba also has a positional play. He's keeping 2 centre-backs there with him. And of course, when this ball is played, the 4 players again that we speak about there, and of course, the intention to go behind This was a good, beautiful goal. That shows the tactical structure of Sundowns in attack. Nice width when they're building up. The 4 players in the middle who form that partnership in the middle. And of course, Sales goes in and out and is quite clever to also move on the edge of the defender to be able to finish.
It worked. They got a goal. They tried it 3 times before the 7th minute, 9th minute, they tried it, 18th minute, they tried it. Yeah. They did that long pass ball that goes diagonal where you had Tashreeq trying to meet the one, it was too long for him, where you had a Mudau trying to meet it, it didn't work. I didn't see any of that in the second half.
Yeah, I think we're right. We tried this with Mokoena where I thought he did well by trying this moment because I think...
sharpening the pencil.
Yeah, we did mention that during AFCON, he didn't give us such moments a lot. And I thought in this match, he tapped into those moments of trying to take shots out of the box. You need that kind of ammunition in the Champions League. You know, vary your attack, vary how you score goals, because in the Champions League, you saw how they score. You know, it's a ricochet and then lucky bounce for them, and they score. So you need to have all those moments and elements of attacking sharpen, and you have to use them when times allows.
Well, let's go to Mamelodi Sundowns and the attack, of course. Like I said, it differed. In the first half, you saw a lot of the diagonal cross ball, epulama window, Mabasha, right, to get to those corners. Yeah. In the second half was a little bit different. You saw a lot of what you're seeing now in the varied attack. Hlompho, here, you were scratching. You were saying, what?
Come on. Firstly, Leon Muniz there, he has to take that one. He has to take that one. I did mention that in the Champions League, it's a game of small margin. You can't miss such a goal. You have to take it, especially when you give him an opportunity like that. He's still fresh coming from the bench. Oh, Barcelo, you've got to love him. You've got to have him. His energy all the time.
So you think he should have taken it there? Shouldn't have?
Easy. I'm not sure about the weight of the pass from Sales. I thought he waited for it for a little bit. But, of course, a striker of that nature, you have to take it. Especially strikers, they are striving for such a moment. Have a chance, you have to take.
And then Tashreeq there falls to him nicely.
Of course, Tashreeq has to hit the target. The only way to hit the target is to wait for it to drop, put the body down, over the ball, and then you hit the target. There's so many bodies there for goalkeeper to see the ball. If you hit the target, surely you're scoring.
We've seen it in the AFCON, that teams are very, very deliberate in forcing you to come right inside. But when you don't have the right technical players to take you out of that situation, you are going to meet pressing traps. And there was very, very clear there where Marcelo committed quite nicely there. But there was also a line of 2 and a line of 3 to make sure that the center is nicely blocked there. But I agree with Hlompho there. A striker like this one with what is alleged of the money being paid, you should be taking those kind of chances, because in the Champions League, you get 1 or 2 of these chances to be able to finish.
20 goal contributions, over 20 goal contributions the last 2 seasons out in Colombia for Muniz. There doesn't secure that one there. Sundowns still getting in the box there. Tashreeq there with some nice moves.
Yeah, it goes back to what TD spoke about in making sure that the wingers come inside to make that a funnel, just go straight to goals. And it gives them opportunities to have numbers in the box where either a cutback is on, either a far pole is still on. So you have that variety of picking a player in the box. And the only thing that let us down in this match is to hit the target. And I thought we had moments where some moments, it doesn't have to be a clear one. In the Champions League, we saw the goal, how they score. It doesn't have to be a clear goal, but make sure that you hit the target. Take your chance and score.
Oh, this was the attempt now. 28 meters out, right? He's sharpening his pencil here, like we said a little bit earlier. Is Teboho Mokoena in the first half this. But finally, he gets a hold of it. Hlompho, I was going to go to W, but I think this is only right that I come to you with this one. Unbelievable. One of the best I've seen from him.
Yeah, I love watching football matches when there's goals like this. And it takes bravery, it takes a level of working to perfect such a technique, because it's a difficult technique to execute, especially now that somebody's charging you. You have to make sure that before he arrives, hit that thing and make sure that you hit the target. A lot of players will try to...
Every angle is beautiful.
Oh, the more I see it on slow motion, it becomes so nice. I think you can clip that video for me. I must put it on my socials.
On the positive side, Andy, I think for me, you have to also give credit to the analysts.
Yeah.
You know, for example, this is a training regimen, you know, that you can see that it's something that they've been doing on the left side of the field first half, and of course the second half. But Al-Hilal also here.
They were naive.
They were very, very naive. And you can see maybe they also don't do their match analysis because this happened in the first half.
Yeah.
It's happening in the second half. And of course, you also have to profile this kind of a player.
Sure.
This is not a player that you leave alone outside the box because the majority of his goals that he have scored has been crackers like this or headers.
Yeah.
So here they were very, very naive, and I don't expect them at this level that they don't really do their match analysis and they don't do a thorough player profiling because you can't leave Tebogo Mokoena outside the box like that. You know, he's deadly.
And then silence would reign out at Loftus during this Total Energies CAF Champions League match because Sundowns would concede late on into the match, 70th minute here. Same ball they scored with is what catches them.
I'll tell you what. There's a lot of things that were wrong in this Sundowns conceding this goal. We all know that when there's no pressure on the ball, the last line of defense cannot hold a higher line. And when there's no pressure, you make sure that anybody that runs behind you, you track him. The striker can't receive behind you, TD, when there's no pressure on the ball. And I thought the Cupido, Kekana, Basadin, they made a huge mistake by allowing that to happen. And especially in the Champions League, where I did mention that their goal will never be pretty, but they count. Because at the end of the match, when they look at the scoreboard, they look at the two goals that they scored. How they scored doesn't matter, but what matters is the scoreline. So they came here, they took a big point, and I thought this was a big lot for Mamelodi Sundowns.
We spoke about it also, Andy, when you allow players between the lines. If you check in this situation again, there was a player who was allowed to be between the lines. And in moments like this, which is 70th minute, Sundowns then decided to have a line of 5, which is uncharacteristic. And again, it goes to a player who has not really played a lot of time, who's Basadin. So this also talks again about the sloppiness, but against the team synergy, because players are just coming back now from a minor break, you know. But if you're not going to pick up players and movers in the central area, you allow them to be able to, and of course, what Hlompho is saying there, you allow, again, no pressure on the ball carrier, and the ball is played freely in that area there. I mean, Pasadena already there, he's shouting, when it should have been goal side, you know, and make sure that you stay with your man in that kind of a situation.
Pasadena there, Sundowns are known as a team that can play back. You know, if he scanned around and he looked, would it be possible to maybe kick it up for a corner rather than, or even play Ronwin, who's open to him?
You have to clear your line. Make sure that you hit this thing on standing.
But that's something. Is the issue not that?
We do.
You want to play it out.
I did mention the nature of the tournament. This is Champions League. We have to make sure that you respect every element of and especially the opponents that you are playing against. These are the defending champions in their respective countries. So you need to know that they are the same level as you are. So whatever you're doing in the box, in the attacking box, you must always be on the top a performance. And that one, I thought he should have easily hit the stand there.
Just to add Ma'a also there, I mean, the moment tells you. You know, it's a serious game that we need maximum points. And in a situation like that, you got to make sure that you clear as much as possible.
It got very, I don't want to say rough, but it got very physical, Hlompho, particularly in the second half. You know, where we saw a lot of Sundowns players down, a lot of Al-Hilal boys imposing their strength. Red card here.
I did mention that in moments like this in the Champions League, there's always such confrontation. And the nature of the Champions League says there's some fouls that you will get here at home. In the Champions League, you'll never get. I did thought Mamelodi Sundowns here could know better, especially in putting themselves in a position where to receive yellow cards. You don't need such moment. Of course, the referee decided to give an Al-Hilal striker a red card.
Do you think it was a deserved red card?
Well, we saw in the AFCON where somebody has been touched on the face, they give you a yellow card. But a red
same
card,
Mudau that's down.
Same Mudau. But I don't think that is worth a red card. But it may be a yellow. I thought the referee was a bit harsh on this.
But at this level again, Andile, I mean, you would have been expecting that we must be having VAR.
Sure.
You know, and as much as the assistant flagged a little bit quicker, you still anticipated that they would have communicated first, you know, to see the harshness and the severity of the action. But to concur what Skipper is saying, it's important that players have to understand that you stay away from trouble because accumulation of bookings, you know, really affect you moving forward. So it's very, very silly that Hlompho decided to jump when the ball is on the other side of the half, you know, and you could see that already Mudau was in total control of the ball. So really unnecessary there, but a lot of discipline. But I thought at this stage we already need VAR.
Yaqub with a brace to increase his tally in the Champions League. Group C, doesn't matter what happens over the weekend. Rulani is MCLJ as well as Limpopo play on Sunday, but the score won't affect Sundowns sitting atop of Group C.